Hello everyone, myself Adnan. I'm currently pursuing BTech CSE from ITM SLS Baroda University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Today we are going to look an important and interesting topic of AWS cloud computing, which is AWS Lambda. It plays a crucial role in cloud computing through AWS. So we will be covering topics like what is AWS Lambda, what are its key features, what are difference between previous and serverless. And next, we will be seeing a real life example of using AWS Lambda. Without wasting time, we will start. First is introduction to Lambda, or we can say what is Lambda. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service provided by AWS. It allows you to running code without provisioning or managing servers. Basically, here servers are provided by AWS and managed by AWS itself. We have to just write the code. So it always aims to developers only focus on writing the code while AWS handles infrastructure management. It is an event driven and automatically scale based on the number of event requests. Means it is event driven means whenever any function has to be executed, it executed through triggers which are created by the events. Which means whenever any event is created, triggers are created and it are response by the function. What are the function? AWS Lambda has itself Lambda functions created already. So there is a scaling means number of requests per second are increasing or decreasing. Whether they are increasing or decreasing, it is managed by the AWS Lambda itself. Next, we will see what are key features of AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda has features like architecture, which is there is no server, so we do not have to manage or provision server. Second, it is event-driven execution, means functions are triggered by events like S3 file uploads or API gateway request. Basically, requests are created by request creates events and they are triggered by the functions. Next is automatic scaling. Automatic scaling means, as we learned previously, it handles requests per seconds in number of thousands or lakhs. So it scales at the current time of seconds. Next, it is cost effective as we do not have to buy the whole infrastructure. We just have to write the code and to execute it and to pay for only for the request we create. Next, it supports multiple languages like C Sharp, .NET, C Sharp, Go, Java, Python, Node.js, Go, and many more languages. And it can also be integrated with other AWS services like S3, DynamoDB, API gateways, SNS, SQS, etc. and etc. Next, we have to see how AWS Lambda differs from traditional computing because it is important to differ. Crystal clear difference from traditional computing and Lambda serverless computing. So, in traditional computing requires manual server management and there is a server. But in Lambda, as it is serverless, it is full managed by AWS. There is no manual server or physical server. So, it is managed by AWS itself. There is server which runs continuously 24 by 7. But here, as we learned, only runs by an event whenever it is triggered. Here we have to buy the infrastructure in traditional computing, which is a costly work to do. So we have to pay according to it. So it is a fixed cost infrastructure. Here in Lambda, we have to pay per request. Means whenever we create request, we have to pay only for that particular request. In traditional computing, there is manual scaling, but here it is auto scaling based on request per number or per seconds. The infrastructure which we buy in traditional computing is a complex infrastructure to manage. But here in AWS Lambda, as it is serverless, so we do not have any infrastructure, so we do not have to manage it. Next is we have taken a live example of Airbnb. If you know Airbnb, it will be easy for you. Airbnb uses AWS Lambda for real-time image processing. Whenever any image comes to the it Airbnb model which uses S3 bucket, it will create an event for resizing or optimizing whichever event we want to create. It will create an event function. It will be the Lambda function will trigger the particular event and the output will be run and output will be shown to us. The AWS Lambda has many benefits like fast processing time, reduced infrastructure cost, and better user experience. There are or many companies which uses AWS Lambda, like Coca-Cola. It handles payment processing through AWS Lambda. Netflix uses for data logs and streaming analytics and provides you next suggestions. The Guardian, which is a reputed media outlet, it provides it provides you the media news on real-time basis. It provides through using AWS Lambda for content processing and media management. Another is Figma. We all know Figma. It uses for real-time collaboration and user data analytics. Thank you for listening me.